freedom over fame. Freedom over cycle stays the same.
Welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives, and I am your host, Bruce Anthony. Thank you for listening and watching wherever you get your podcasts and video podcasts. Subscribe, share, like, comment, and rate us. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch at unsolicited_perspectives. You can find us on Twitter and TikTok at unsolicited_PER. Watch us live now. Watch us live every Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Twitch and YouTube. Our audience continues to grow with each and every episode, and I humbly thank you.
On today's episode, it's a sibling happy hour. I'm here with my sis, Aundrea. We're going to be dilly-daddling. Then we're going to be talking about Iowa GOP. And then we're going to be talking about non-monogamous, polyamorous relationships. But first things first. Hey there, podcast listeners. It's Bruce Anthony here, and welcome to another episode of Unsolicited Perspectives. Today, I want to talk to you about something that's been on my mind lately, the importance of staying hydrated and taking care of ourselves. Whether it's prioritizing our health and wellness, or gearing up for festival seasons, or just gearing up for whatever season or time of year, there's one brand that's been my go-to for all things hydration, Liquid IV. Speaking of health and wellness, let's dive into how Liquid IV can fuel your well-being. Imagine starting your day off right, feeling refreshed and energized. Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier is the missing piece in your daily routine. With just one stick, you get 5 essential vitamins and 2 times faster hydration than water alone. It's perfect for those early mornings, pre-workout boosts, moments when you're just feeling run down, or even after a late night or long flights. I absolutely love how convenient Liquid IV is. The packaging makes it easy to bring with me wherever I go. And let me tell you, it's become a vital daily part of my routine. The flavors, let me tell you something, they're incredible. From refreshing sea berry and strawberry lemonade to classics like lemon lime and watermelon, there's a flavor for every preference. It's like a burst of hydration with a hint of deliciousness. Picture this. 1 stick of Liquid IV mixed in 16 ounces of water, hydrating you 2 times faster and more efficient than water alone. And with 12 mouth-watering and flavors, you'll never get bored with your hydration routine. Plus, Liquid IV is packed with 5 essential vitamins: B3, B5, B6, B12, and of course, vitamin C. It's also made with premium ingredients, non-GMO, free of gluten, dairy, and soy. This is hydration at its finest. But it doesn't stop there. Liquid IV believes that access to clean and abundant water is the foundation of a healthier world. That's why they partner with leading organizations, finding innovative solutions to help communities protect both their water and their futures. It's incredible to know that Liquid IV has already donated over 39 million servings in 50 plus countries around the world. They truly walk the talk. Get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code UNSOLICITED at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code UNSOLICITED at liquidiv.com. Remember, folks, taking care of ourselves should always be a priority. So why wait? Head over to liquidiv.com, pick your favorite flavors, and experience hydration like never before. Stay refreshed, stay hydrated, and keep rocking those unsolicited perspectives. What up, sis?
What up, brother? We back.
Yeah, we back. We back in full effect. Everybody should have known we'd be back. I don't know what that was.
I don't know, and I'm not gonna pop and lock either. So
No.
we're gonna bypass that. Sometimes, you break out into a little ditty, and that's all right.
Sometimes, mostly I break out in the little ditties. Mostly. All right, so I got some stuff. I got a mea culpa that I got to make. But first, I didn't even realize this, but it was brought to my attention today by a listener. So a lot of people don't realize, hey, we got a new website, unsolicitedperspectives.com, where you can get all audio shows, all the video shows. We're doing blogs now. And soon, before the end of the summer, we will be doing merch because we're redesigning the logo. So we'll be doing merch. It'll be t-shirts, sweatshirts, baby stuff, mugs, iPhone covers, whatever you want. We're going to have that.
Yeah.
So it was your idea. And you said we should put some of my catchphrases on there.
Yes.
And I was like, yes, we should. So I was explaining that to a listener today, and they were like, you should put your sister's catchphrase on there. And I was like, my sister don't have no damn catchphrase. That we were talking about that, and she'll never bring up nothing. And the listener was like, yes, she does. At the beginning of every sibling hour episode, she says something. And so I had to listen back to it. And every sibling happy hour always say, what up, sis? And you always say, what up, brother?
Yes.
That's
it's brother. What up, brother?
Brother. Yeah, brother. Yeah. So that's one of your slogans. So I was thinking of creating, I'm creating on the air, creating a shirt, sweatshirt, whatever, that has our silhouettes and me saying, what up, sis? And you saying, what up, brother?
That's wonder. I want that sweatshirt.
I want that sweatshirt and that t-shirt too. So it'll be coming, all that stuff will be coming out end of the summer. It'll probably be out sooner because I'm a maniac. When I get my mind set on something, I get obsessed and have to get it done. But at the very least, at the latest, it will be done at the end of August, right after your birthday.
Yes, my birthday. This is going to be my last year of 30s.
Oh, that's right. It is your last year of 30s.
Yeah.
My bestie just had her last year of 30s birthday. We got to do something big to maybe I might fly down.
I'm doing nothing, just like I do as usual. But
you're
more than welcome to come down.
Yeah, maybe I'll come down. I ain't been down in 4 years, so maybe I'll come down.
Yeah. You're more than welcome. Come on down. But I have nothing planned.
Don't look at age over 29 with your Benjamin Button ass. All right. There's nothing compliments to my sister. Let me get to my mea culpa. So I don't remember exactly when I said this. It may have been in the quote unquote first season. That was before we took our hiatus during the winter break. But I was talking about Lauren Bobart and how she doesn't know who her biological father is. And there was a rumor and newspaper articles. This wasn't something that just was rumor. This was newspaper articles written that her father probably was the professional wrestler, Sweet Stan Lane, famously from my generation, the Midnight Express, where they also tag team with Steve Kern as the Fabulous Ones. And I think Jimmy Del Rey as the Heavenly Bodies. Basically, he was Sweet Stan Lane, the sex symbol. Not to me, like personally, but you know, to the ladies, you know, he was Sweet Stan Lane, had away with the ladies. And there were all these rumors and everything that he was the father. Well, recently, Lauren Bobart and Stan Lane actually communicated and got together because he's been saying for years, your mama is a lie. Because it's her mom that's been saying that's your daddy. And he's been saying for years, your mama is a lie. The devil is a lie and your mama is a lie. So finally they got together. Two people, right. The only two people. It had to be the devil and the mom getting together to create that offspring, which is Lauren Bobart. She does seem like she'd be the seed of a devil. But anyway, I digress. So they got together and they did a blood test, DNA test, and it came out. This is by courtesy of the Daily Beast that he is not the pappy.
He ain't the pappy.
He ain't the pappy. So I have to apologize to Sweet Stan Lane.
Yeah, because that's the only person I would, in this scenario, that I would ever give an apology to, no matter what I said.
Yeah, no, I didn't, I don't think I should have to apologize to Lauren Bobart because it was her own mom saying it, right? Like I apologize to Sweet Stan Lane because he's been adamant for years that was not his baby. Now, I can't get past the fact that he would always backstab Ricky Morton from the Rock and Roll Express or Tommy Rogers from the Fantastics. The fact that it seemed like he would be diabolical and claim that that's not his baby. So that was believable to me because he was such a villainous heel. But
Yeah.
he was not. He's actually a pretty decent man in his real life, and that was a character that he was portraying. And I apologize, Sweet Stan Lane.
I don't think I was born when all of these people were wrestling.
You
So
were absolutely born. We're only 4 years apart. I actually saw Sweet Stan Lane in action at the Richmond Civic Center in 1988.
I remember you going to, yes, I remember that.
1988. Yep, I went to see
Yeah.
him. They wrestled. The Midnight Express and the Rock and Roll Express wrestled in a 2 out of 3 falls match in which the Rock and Roll Express won. But Jim Cornette still hit Ricky Morton over the back with his tennis racket. And so, he was the manager of Sweet Stan Lane. So I just immediately believed that he was, in fact, Lauren Bobart's father. Plus, that just would have been good story, right? Like a former professional wrestler heel was the real life father of a heel in politics. Like, it just made sense. But
it would have worked. Yeah.
But also, there's a part of me, and I shouldn't, but you know me, I kind of feel bad for Lauren.
That she don't know her pappy?
Yeah, and that she's been lied to, like her mom knew, or I hope she knew that.
Not necessarily.
Well, Jim Cornette, who was the manager of the Midnight Express and personal friend of Stan Lane, said that, everybody knew her mom back in the day. She was, quote unquote, what they called a rat. Now, a wrestling rat is like, a groupie that hung around, and she had been with.
Terrible name.
It is a terrible name, but she had been with several wrestlers. Sweet Stan Lane wasn't the only one. So that's my mea culpa.
Yeah. Well, sorry about that, Sweet Stan Lane.
Yes. Sorry. He all right.
Yeah, I'm sure he's fine.
He's fine. What else is going on in your life? But other than finding out that Sweet Stan Lane and Lauren Bobart's father?
Nothing. Pretty much nothing. Yeah. I enjoyed my vacation. I'll tell you that. That was nice. But I'm happy to get back. The vacation from, we had a little time off on the show. We had a little 4th of July weekend.
That's what you call vacation. Well, it was vacation. I was working.
Oh, I mean, I was also still working.
No. I was still doing stuff for the show.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I enjoyed the little time off, but I did get a little anxious when last Thursday rolled around. I was like, I feel like I should be doing something.
Yeah.
But I
tried to
tried to busy myself, but I'm glad to be back.
We happy that you are back, because the show, I do all right by myself, but the show ain't the same without you in the second chair.
I just don't believe that that's true, but okay. I think you had a great show last.
Show. Oh, with Rick Clemens in that interview, I think I always say that the last interview was one of my best, but I really think that was one of my best interviews.
Yeah.
And we're doing a back and forth. I'm actually going to go on his podcast.
Awesome.
I don't typically do that. I don't typically go on. No. It's a selfish relationship. I just want you to be on my podcast, and I don't want to go on your podcast. Like, I don't want to do it. Rick asked me, and I was like, "Yeah, I go on your podcast. Sure."
But man. You have a story also that I think you gave people a glimpse into. One episode, and I think people want to know more.
I told him about that, and I was like, hey, if you want to talk about that, I'm open to talk about that. So it'll be cool.
Yeah,
it'll be cool.
Well, I'll be interested to listen to that episode also.
What else is going on in the world? Can we tell personal business? I know you might be a little excited because some changes are coming into your life in the next month or so.
What do I got going on?
I mean, you have somebody that's living with you now, and they won't be living with you in the next.
Oh yeah, I'll be getting my house back, which is very nice.
All you and Mom talk about is getting your house back. That's all y'all ever talk about.
Truly, anybody who is like getting older and single and stuff, you really start to value the time you spend with yourself and value your personal space. These things become important, especially when you're dealing with work and friends and family and all that stuff, you need to have that kind of respite and that peace of just coming home and it just being your home. I loved having my brother here, but it's time to spread his wings and fly. So,
well, I was
yes.
thinking about, because my lease is going to end up, I could just move down there and it'd be easier for us to do the show together.
Yeah, I just, you know.
You know damn well I'm joking, because don't
Yes.
nobody like being alone more than me.
Yes.
Not nobody like being alone more than me. So
you've made it your entire personality.
Yes.
you have taken it from a lifestyle to literally a character, an aspect of your character being alone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I will say that I am celebrating my birthday. So this weekend I'm having a get together with some folks. Now, some folks said that they was coming and now they can't make it. So I'm already starting to get the calls of I'm not going to be able to make it.
Yes.
And
that happened. Well, you know the statistic is when you throw a party, I think you're supposed to expect like 40 to 50% of the people actually coming. So that's probably it's probably going to be around that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. That's still, a decent number of people.
Right.
My other anxiety for doing this, because it's the reason why I don't throw a lot of get-togethers and things like that, is people not showing up on time. I put on the invitation that I'm going to be, I said, hey, I'm celebrating my birthday. I'm going to be at this restaurant and at this bar from 2 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody would like to come celebrate it with me, here's the invitation. I'll be there from 2 to 4.
Yeah.
That means if you show up at 3:30,
you get 30 minutes with me.
You get 30 minutes. Don't get upset. Don't get upset either. When I came to see you, right? And I said I was going to be here from 2 to 4.
Yeah.
So
you had a window of 2 hours, and you made the decision that you wanted to come when you felt like it. And now I get to make the decision that I get to leave when I feel like it. And that's now.
And if you come at 4, you'll be seeing me in my big booty in my hoochie daddy shorts walking out the door, walking down the sidewalk. And you'd be like, I think that's Bruce. Bruce, where you going? I'm going home. Well, what are you doing? We just get, I told you 2 to 4.
Yeah. And anyone who knows me or anyone who knows you knows that that's a hard 2-4. That's a hard 2 to 4. Like there's no wiggle room because I got something to do after this, and it's called being by myself. I have enough social battery to give you. I got 2 hours to give y'all, because birthday parties, realize, are not for you, they're for the other people. I got 2 hours of energy to give y'all, and then I need to go be by myself.
That's all I got. That's all you're gonna get.
So
2 hours.
Please be on time.
But you know what? We're gonna quit with this diddle-daddling and get into some real talk in the next segment. Quit being born with your lazy ass, just eating dinner and watching TV every night. We're going to change it up tonight. Next time, pull out a Wongo puzzle and enjoy the conversation and fun that happens when people puzzle together. Wongo is a perfect balance of good challenge without being so hard you stop talking to each other and leave your family forever. I know I'm close to that almost every time me and my family get together. Trust me, once you try Wongo, you'll never go back to that boring, old-ass jigsaw puzzle. They are 100% wooden pieces, so they'll last forever. Each piece is hand-drawn, so no 2 pieces are the same, and you'll discover some fun whimsy pieces as you work through it. They come in a custom wooden box, which is perfect for storage and gifting. With stunning designs and unique shape, Wongo puzzles are a cut above the rest. I love doing the snow globe puzzle myself. It was great to pull out a puzzle and be done in a night and not have to worry about it being on the table for a week. Well, not on the table, on the floor. And definitely not for a week, because crypto would mess it up. So what are you waiting for? Go to wongopuzzles.com and pick your puzzle today. And be sure to use the promo code Unsolicited to get 10% off your order. This is the most fun you've had with a puzzle, guaranteed, or your money back. Go to WONGO gopuzzles.com and use code Unsolicited to get 10% off your order and get puzzling right now. All right, sis. The GOP has done it again. Iowa's Republicans, the Iowa GOP, just passed new legislation that is banning most abortions after roughly 6 weeks of pregnancy. Woo! Can't talk today. Of pregnancy. And Governor Kim Reynolds said, so she get it, she's going to sign into law. So she's going to sign into law. It passed. The GOP passed the bill on July the 11th. And Kim
in the
Reynolds
middle of the night.
In the middle of the night. And she's going to sign it into law on the 14th. And basically, it will prohibit abortions after the first sign of cardiac activity, which is usually around 6 weeks, with some exceptions for cases of rape, incest, fetal abnormality, or a medical emergency. Right now, it's a 20-week limit. But for these exceptions, for rape, if the rape is reported to a law enforcement officer or to a public health agency or a doctor within 45 days. If the pregnancy is a result of incest, if the incest is reported to a law enforcement officer or a public health agency or a doctor within 140 days. And then there's all other stuff where the attendant for the fetal abnormalities, the doctor has to be like, yeah, it's not going to work or it's not viable. So then you can have abortion. So if that doctor is actually pro-life, they might say, nah, you'd be all right. They could. They had that capability because there's no real parameters or structure around these exceptions, except for rape, which, by the way, most rapes don't go reported.
Go unreported. And
incest as well.
Yes. Both. Go unreported. And then it's just the fact that in order for me to get this abortion, I have to go through the process of reporting my rape or incest or whatever. I have to go through that additional thing on top of the fact that I have to get an abortion because of an assault. Like,
so trauma stacked on trauma.
The added trauma on top of it, which I would feel like your average person would just say to hell with it. I don't want to go through all of that just to get the critical health care that I require. Or just
and the 6-week ban, let's be honest, folks, that's a total ban.
Yes. That's all that is.
A woman doesn't even think that she's pregnant until she's missed her period. And even after you miss your period, you can be like, oh, it could be late. Sometimes the menstrual cycles are late. 1, sometimes 2 weeks. Guess what? That could be 6 weeks from conception, which means that fetus is 6 weeks old, which means you can't get an abortion.
And another really disgusting aspect of this is a lawmaker tried to introduce an amendment that created an abortion exception or exemption for children ages 12 and under, that they can have access to abortions regardless, no time limits for them. And it didn't pass.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it did not pass. It failed across party lines. They couldn't even add an amendment in there to protect children on a bill that they're saying is to protect children. Because again,
hold on, Jay, repeat that one more time, because that is just poetic. What could they not do again?
They could not even protect children on a bill that they say is meant to protect children.
Wow.
Because again, this is a situation where they care about the unborn child, but once you're born, to hell with you.
Oh yeah, to hell with you.
And they've
They don't care about
proven
you.
that because this is the same state that has cut SNAP benefits for
Mm-hmm.
about 2,800 families.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same state who is now allowing child labor. That at age of 16, you can serve alcohol or you can work in a mine, or I don't know what the hell they got going on in Iowa. It's a mystery.
I mean, let's not take a complete shot at the state because there's probably some good people. There's probably
There
more
are
than
tons of good people in
yeah,
Iowa,
in
and they
Iowa.
were
Yeah,
there at the Capitol that day
letting it be known.
protesting.
Yeah.
Protesting.
So here's a
What
problem.
something that they don't even support. 61% of Iowan adults and 70% of Iowan women support abortion in either all or most cases. So this is not even something that their state, that the constituency really supports.
No, of course not. That's the reason why they made it a bill as opposed to putting it on something that you could actually vote for during elections, because they know that it wouldn't pass.
Right.
They know it wouldn't pass because the majority of people out there, most people don't want to be in another person's decision making because they don't want people in their decision making.
Right.
So most people will say, that's not for me, but do what you want to do, boo boo. They don't got nothing to do with me. At the
Right.
heart of most stuff, people will say, people will stay the hell out of their business. It's them nosy busybodies that feel like, no, this is the way you need to live your life when they don't even live it like that.
No.
It'd be real funny when a lot of these politicians that are so pro-life got a mistress that had to have an abortion because they couldn't have an outside kid. And there's a lot of cases of that. I'm not going to bring up no names because I don't want no lawsuits. I don't want no defamation situations. But there's a lot of cases out there. So, this is just another situation. I don't know what the GOP's plan is, because they're taking on these topics that they think have universal appeal across the nation that really, really don't. There are pockets of people that really, really believe in these culture war issues. But there are pockets of people. The general public are not for these cultural war issues. The general public.
Yeah, even on the national scale, majority of people support abortion in all or most cases.
Right. Like most people are just like, look, even if you're pro-life, you could be like, I'm pro-life in my life, but I'm pro-choice in somebody else's life because their situation doesn't concern me. And all these people that you're gonna burn in hell if you do that. But I don't hear you saying anything when you go to church and that pastor did something to some kids. You don't say anything then.
You don't say nothing. Y'all just move them to another church.
That's what they do. Tell them like they didn't hear you.
They just move them to another church.
Right.
Y'all don't and is anybody shout out to an Iowan constituent. She came and she spoke for she did her 3 minutes and took a little extra time. Her name was Felicia Hilton. If you haven't had a chance to hear what she said, you are the same people, and I'm paraphrasing, but you're the same people that would have smacked that loaf of bread out of Jesus' hand. You're the same people who would have smacked that fish out of Jesus' hand and made people line up and prove that they're qualified to receive the love or help or mercy of Jesus. Like that. So if this whole thing of like people trying to turn America into a theocracy, it's ludicrous. It's ludicrous because half of these people don't live by the Christian principles that they say they do.
So I had a very interesting conversation with a woman that I'm friends with. She's an older woman. She just turned 61. Conservative, religious. She's grown a little bit more conservative over the last couple of years. But that would kind of happen in the area that you live in. When you're consumed by everything and no outside voices, you tend to,
when you're stuck in that echo chamber.
Yeah, you tend to rock with that. And she's deeply, religious. She's very religious, goes to church every Sunday, goes visit the nuns and all that type of stuff. And I was talking to her and I was like, yeah, if Jesus Christ came down here right now, I'm not talking about the last days. I'm just like, he came down and just pop in and say, hey, what up, y'all? What y'all up to?
Right.
The majority of the people that praise his name wouldn't believe that it was actually him.
No. A brown Jew?
They might even crucify him. They might even crucify. And she was like, oh yeah, I absolutely believe that, because a lot of people practice religion and not the teachings of Jesus. There's a difference.
A brown socialist Jewish man.
Wait, all you talking about is Bernie Sanders with a tan.
I'm talking about a brown socialist Jewish man.
Right.
Who has love for everybody, including the prostitutes you look down on, or sex workers. But
all the sex workers
back in the day. Yes.
Back in the day, but all the sex workers on OnlyFans that you sitting there judging. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
He's breaking bread with him.
Breaking bread with him. and not judging them.
And not judging. You talk about that? You talk about that, Jesus? Yeah, nah. No, they're looking for Chris Hemsworth to come back. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for Thor 1. That's the Jesus they looking for. If that guy showed up, they'd be like, "Now this is Jesus." Okay, Australian accent and all.
Who would be the Jesus that you describe? Let's not make him Jewish. Let's just make him. Let's make him from the Middle East.
Yeah, just
that's essentially what he would look like. Somebody from the Middle East.
It's funny. There was actually a Netflix show. I can't remember what the name of it was.
I know what you're talking about. I didn't watch it though, but there was some backlash. Good. Yeah, but there was backlash because it was like, that's not Jesus.
Yeah, actually, he would have. Because again, like. I don't know if y'all know where Bethlehem is. But it's not in Britain.
Jesus, that portrait of Jesus that you see in all of your churches is not Jesus. That blonde hair, blue eyed Jesus. I don't have no problem with blonde hair, blue eyed people, but that's just not Jesus.
But that's just not Jesus.
In the Bible. What do they say in the Bible? They say hair of wool,
and
color the skin brass. And I don't know if you've seen brass.
It's brown.
Golden brown.
It is brown.
So yeah, the hypocrisy of these people that say that that it's against their religion to allow a life to be taken, but
support the death penalty.
You stole it. I was just
sorry.
You jumped right. You jumped right on my line. I was bringing that point right on home. That's all right.
Damn
that's the reason why it's the sibling happy hour. They need to hear this back and forth because
I didn't know you were going to say it.
Well, I don't know how you didn't know that I was going to say that.
We was on the same wavelength. We was on it.
We was on it. But yeah, we go for the death penalty. So it's just the hypocrisy. And I have said it and I will say it. It has nothing to do about kids. All these culture war things. It has nothing to do about kids. They just know that's an easy thing to bring in people because who's going to say anything bad about kids except for Bernie Mac? If y'all don't get that, watch Bernie Mac.
Watch Bernie Mac.
Watch
and
Bernie
then
Mac.
you'll get it. You just need to watch one episode. You need to get 10 minutes into any one episode and you'll just understand one episode. That. Yes.
But go ahead, make your point.
I forgot my point now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we took a week off. We took a week off and we are a little disjointed today.
Listen. No, but no, I mean, all of these culture wars, not just abortion bans, but all the rights. Supreme Court decisions, the LGBTQ community, affirmative action. It's not about the people that they're disenfranchising. It's about white supremacy.
Okay, so we've had some, you don't see them because I don't allow them to go on there, but I made some comments about white supremacy on one of my YouTube shorts. And I said, I don't understand why some, and I emphasize the word some white people won't acknowledge their privileges and their advantages. And I run through the list of them and I say, I can acknowledge mine. I am a man, and that gives me a societal advantage over a woman. I'm a light-skinned Black man. That gives me a societal advantage over dark-skinned Black people. I'm good looking. That gives me a societal advantage over ugly-ass people. But I can acknowledge these things. Why can't they acknowledge their privileges? And they say, well, privileges isn't the same thing as supremacy. Where I was like, it's a combination of all these privileges that are built into systems that were designed by white men for white men. Let me rephrase that. Were designed by rich white men for rich white men. Because when we say white supremacy, it doesn't mean that a white person doesn't have a hard lot in life.
It just means that you don't have a hard lot in life because you're white.
Right. That's the difference.
That's the difference. It doesn't matter if you grew up poor or in a single family household, or you didn't get to go to school, or you didn't have this, or you didn't have that, and you've had to struggle your whole life. I understand that as a person who's also had to struggle their entire life. But you didn't have to struggle because you're white. And that's the difference.
But I don't understand. Slavery was so long ago.
Oh, God.
Right. Actually, slavery wasn't that long ago. It was 150 years ago. That's two 75-year-old women back to back. And honestly, whether y'all want to admit, two grandmas. And honestly, if you really want to get down to it, it didn't end until the mid-70s, until the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act still started to kick in, because Jim Crow was just another offshoot of slavery. So don't talk to me about that slavery was so long ago. And by the way, as I remind you folks out there, my parents were born during Jim Crow, which means that I'm the first generation born in this country with all of my rights.
Yes.
I'm 43 years old. And
excuse me, but civil rights was born in 1965. It does not qualify to retire. It cannot get Medicare. It is still working.
Right.
It is still at your office working.
Exactly.
This is brand new.
If you was born in 65, you can get Medicare now.
No, you cannot.
Yeah, you can. That's
do the math.
I'm normally really good in math too. Hold on. That's 35 plus 23. That's 55.
You get
that's 58. It's 58.
Yeah, you get it at 65.
Oh, you can get a discount at IHOP.
Civil rights can get a discount at IHOP.
That's what you get your AARP card.
If they show up at 4:30 p.m. to eat dinner at IHOP, you can get a senior citizen discount.
And oh, by the way, just because the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act were passed, that didn't mean that a lot of states were complying with it. Government had to go in a lot of states.
Some of them still aren't.
Well, I saw an interesting commercial the other day. It really pissed me off because I'm like, as a historian, as you like to say, it really pissed me off because I was like, oh, they try to rewrite history. So it was George Wallace. And anybody that doesn't know George Wallace, he was the governor of Alabama. He was a segregationist, which meant that he didn't want integration.
Not the comedian.
Yeah, no, not George Wallace, the comedian. This is George Wallace, the governor of Alabama, white man, governor of Alabama. And he was a segregationist, which meant that he did not want integration. And he said segregation now, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever, right? So the commercial starts off with this speech. Then it leads into they're taking us back by not letting us integrate the schools and not giving kids choice. And then they start and they label George Wallace because he was a Democrat, but he was a Dixiecrat.
Yes.
Today's standard, he would be a Republican. A lot of the Dixiecrats, once Lyndon Baines Johnson got the civil rights and the voting rights passed, these Southern Democrats switched parties and became Republicans. So when Republicans say that Democrats were the party of racism. They're right in a sense, because Lincoln was a Republican,
Yeah.
but Lincoln would be a Democrat today. George Wallace would be
Yes.
a Republican today. But at the end of the
follow
commercial,
follow the actual ideology, not the name.
yes, right. But people are too dumb and they don't follow it. And it's commercials like this that prove it, because at the front and center of George Wallace giving his segregation now, segregation forever, it says Democrat. And then at the end of the commercial, when they say you got to make sure that they don't take away your choice of schools for you and things like that, they start putting all these Democrats on there, like Joe Biden, AOC, and all these other people who, to my knowledge, are not segregationists. But maybe Biden was back in the day. Biden is old as hell.
He is old.
but he
is
isn't
older
now.
than civil rights.
So I bust out laughing at this commercial because I know, oh, you're lying. Like, you're straight up misleading people. But a lot of people, and I get it from these comments on social media, a lot of people are just, y'all are dumb. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it no more. Y'all are dumb. There's enough books and history and stuff that you can read if you want to learn it. You're such a historian on American history. You're such an historian on American history. You're gonna tell me slavery was 400 years ago? No, it was not.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, it did exist 400 years ago. It did exist.
It was around.
It was around 400 years ago.
You're right on that level.
But it didn't end 400 years ago. That's not the way that one worked.
No.
But you're such a historian. Pick up a damn book and read it, because it's pretty clear to me when you guys argue with me that you don't understand history. And to get back to the GOP in Iowa, what the GOP is doing right now and doing these culture wars, they're stripping away minority rights. And listen to me when I talk about minority rights. It's not just people of color, women, white women. It's you too. You're a minority. I know that you've married to that white man, and that white man is your father and your uncle and your brother, and you're surrounded in all that white comfort. But when push come to shove, they tell you, you can't get that abortion. You don't have no control over your body. I could tell you what you can and cannot do.
Exactly.
You're a minority. Pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention to what the GOP is going to do. They're going to have y'all barefoot, pregnant, cooking and cleaning, and take y'all all the way back, even though y'all are the leaders in college admissions and graduations right now.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are leading the charge. You need to lead the charge. That's all I got to say. That's my little 2 cents. That got me heated.
Yeah, it's when I say that all of this is not about, it's not targeting the minority. It's in fact working to bolster white supremacy. That's the truth. They're not saying we gotta get these black people out of these schools. No, what they're saying is we have to make more space for white children in these schools. We have to make more white babies. We have to make more.
And there needs to be comfortable space. No discomfort. They don't need to know about the history.
They don't need to know about the past. They don't need to know about the way the country was built. We gotta protect comfort, white comfort, and white supremacy. It's not about anybody. It's not about attacking these groups. That's a byproduct of it, the disenfranchisement of other people. What it really is about is hegemony. And it's about getting rid of any difference. It's about assimilation.
There you go, right there.
That is what they want.
I love it when people are like, speak American. You mean the bastardized English that we stole from another country that we don't even speak like they do?
Well, now, as a linguist,
oh God,
I will
here we
say
go.
that standard American English is not a bastardization of British English.
Okay.
It is an amalgam. First of all, America does not have an official language. That's number one. It actually does not have, we do not have an official language.
Okay. I thought we did, but I guess not.
No, I mean, and a lot of people are like, oh, America, our official language is English. It is not. It's actually, we don't have one. But standard American English or any other variant of English that you get in America, because this is a huge country with a lot of different people, and the English that we speak here is an amalgamation of not just English, but a lot of different words. There's French words in what we speak. There's Spanish words in what we speak. I mean, you live in El Paso. You live in Los Angeles, San Francisco.
Santa Cruz.
I mean, okay.
Santiago.
I'm not far from the Chattahoochee River. Like, this is the okay. We don't have an official language here.
The Hoochie Mama River.
The Chattahoochee River. You heard what the hell I said.
Yeah, I heard what you said. It seemed like Two Live Crew made a song about that river, saying you ain't nothing but a hoochie mama.
I mean, that could be the inspiration. I mean, I think that was around the time of Freaknik.
Yes, it may be.
It might have been. They might have been driving by the Chattahoochee, and there you go. I don't know.
But basically what we're saying is the GOP ain't doing nothing good. They say they're doing the Lord's work. They doing the devil's work.
I don't know who Lord they serve. I don't know what God they serve. But I ain't met him. I ain't met him. I ain't read that book. I don't know what book they looking in. What book y'all looking in?
Is it just the Old Testament? None of the New Testament?
And we are Christian. So why are y'all still in the Old Testament? You need to be in the sequel, part 2. What book y'all reading? What book are y'all reading? What version?
King James?
Oh God, not the King James version.
Let me stop before we get struck down by lightning. Lord, you know I love you.
The Lord didn't write the King James version.
No, I'm just saying I don't like saying anything negative about anything that Bible.
No, we should be able to critique organized religion in this country.
Yeah, well, I'm still the same person that every time one of the religious groups at the University of Maryland handed me any type of religious paperwork or one of them little Bibles, I would go to my dorm room, put it in this little drawer. I could never throw it away. I brought it back to the house with me, and I left them at the house. And when I moved, I didn't take them. And I said, "Hey, God, whatever happens to this stuff, happens to this stuff." But I didn't do it.
The Lord is not going to. The Lord's not going to strike you down over a pamphlet.
I'm not going to take the chance.
All right. Well, I'm not criticizing the Lord. I'm criticizing man-made and organized religion in this country and around the world, in modernity and historically. It's a mess.
All right, sis, there's an interesting story going around on social media that I thought would be a good lighthearted topic to talk about after the depressive topic of the GOP just taking us back to the 1950s.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an American podcaster, internet personality, and even record exec. His name is Adam-22. He runs the podcasting network, I'm going to assume it's network, called No Jumper. Okay. And he's married to an adult film star named Lena the Plug. Now, Lena the Plug in all of her adult films either did Girl, Girl, or her and Adam have their own podcast together called something Plug. The Plug. Something like that. It's something on the No Jumper.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, Adam-22 and Lena the Plug have their own podcast where they interview other porn actors.
Yes.
And they will engage in threesomes with another female porn actress. So Adam-22 has had multiple menage a trois with his wife, because they just got married. They just had a kid, and another female co-star.
Yes.
As a gift, as a wedding gift, he said, and she's never done a girl-boy porn scene, and she's getting older, she's getting ready to retire. So he was like, yeah, you should do that. That's what you want to do. You should do that. So they had a person that they knew quite well called Jason Love.
Yes.
That Lena did a porn scene with. And Adam-22 has been getting a lot of backlash from the male population. That's all I see on social media is the male population calling him a cuck, a simp, all this other stuff. And he's like, I really don't get it. Like, she's let me have sex with so many different women. She's had sex with one guy. I
Yeah.
was cool with it. I said, do it.
It was something
Why
that
is
they
everybody?
talked about for over a year. They
Yep.
had been talking about it. It wasn't a spur of the moment decision. It wasn't something that he didn't agree to. It's something that they decided to do. It's their relationship. They separated it in their minds from their personal relationship because this was a professional endeavor. They're making money off of this video.
Yeah, they're
It
getting
is
money.
Jason Love himself, he came at it as this is just work.
Yeah.
I've seen interviews with him. He's like, it's work. It's
work.
our job. It's
Yeah.
not a big deal.
I found it interesting because, so in my personal life, I'm older. When I was younger, no way in the world could I date anybody in sex work, right? No way in the world. Now that I'm older, I could, but to a certain extent. Like, I'm not open enough, and open. Secure is not the right answer. I'm not open enough to have the woman that I want to be a monogamous relationship with have sex with another guy. Like, that's not something, that's not my get down. I don't think that if people are polyamorous, that's cool for them.
Yeah,
right?
that's not,
But
there's, the point is that there's a choice.
right, there's a choice in
You
it.
get to choose what kind of relationship you want to have.
If a woman comes to me and is like, do you want a polyamorous relationship? I'm be like, no, I do not.
Right. So now she has to
We could just be
decide, do I want to pursue a monogamous relationship with this person? Or do I want to find someone who wants to have a polyamorous relationship? It's all about, everybody's got a choice.
I'm gonna
in
just
the
be real
matter.
honest. If she asked me the question, I'm gonna just be like, we should just be friends, because I'm never gonna trust her. Because she may just be like, I like this guy so much, I just want to be with him anyway and do her own thing. Like, that is possible. People are shady out there because most people are honest in relationships.
Yeah.
But now today,
But polyamory is not, and cheating are not the same thing.
No, they're not the same thing. There's an agreement. That's the reason why I specifically said polyamory.
Yeah.
But in my age now, I could date somebody who used to be a porn star who's no longer active. Well, I can't date an active porn star. But if she was a former porn star, then it's like, okay, I got these movies out there. Like, about 10 years, 20 years ago, would not have been able to deal with that. Now, who cares? Right?
Yeah.
That's what you did. You're not doing it no more. Cool. Sex worker, somebody who's a dancer or has an OnlyFans, I don't care. Like, look, I'm almost kind of got a giant ego. Like, I want guys to look at my woman, because if they look at my woman, that they know that I got a bad woman. If she does something outside of our relationship, that is beyond my control. You can't control people. People are going to do what they want to do. But at least everybody know I'm with somebody bad. I don't want nobody thinking that with some
most of the
Fraggle Rock.
guys, most of the men that you see that's talking about, I would never date a girl who's got an OnlyFans. Sir, you never had the option.
That's it.
That's number one. You never had the option. And a lot of these guys that are throwing out the word simp, these are typically lonely or single men who are talking about men who respect women and therefore get to have sex with them. You are talking about somebody who's got a wife.
And
he got somebody. And not only that, has had hundreds of threesomes.
Right. That's the thing. The thing that kills me.
You're talking about somebody who actively engages in sex with another person, and your lonely ass don't have one person. And then you are chronically single and talking about, well, I'd rather be single than be a simp. You don't have a choice.
Don't have a choice.
You are,
and
this is a chronic condition.
There are some men out there who because like I said, I used to be one of them, right? Like, I used to be one of them. mentally involved. And it was not like I couldn't find women. So there are some men out there that can have this type of woman that just says, that wouldn't be me.
Right.
The difference is I could still say, well, I couldn't do that, but I'm not judging the next man for doing whatever he want to do.
Right. I find it interesting, though. I watched some interviews with them and I've seen clips from their podcast. And
be careful now.
Clips on a safe space. Because I don't knock anybody that watches porn, but I just personally don't enjoy it. So I don't know who any of these people are. So it wasn't until you brought the show topic to me that I was like, well, I have to figure out who these people are, because I have no idea who any of these people are.
Because it's been all in my social media. Like, I know who they are because I pay attention to podcasters, and he has a very popular podcast.
Yeah.
And I know that they did a joint podcast where they would interview porn stars, and then I haven't seen any of their porn.
Yeah.
She is hot. And I don't think he's the greatest looking dude in the world. And he got a hot woman.
He's all right.
Yeah, but I mean, he doing well for himself.
But he stated they're not in an open relationship. Their relationship is monogamous, work-wise, professionally. They separate that. And to them, it's separate. They have their personal life and then their professional porn life, where they work with many other women. But he said, we don't have an open relationship. But this is something between two people who had talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
They agreed. Mm-hmm. I didn't like how it seemed like on some of the interviews, he did kind of cave to that male pressure around him, all the guys around him. Man, it couldn't be me. I don't do it. And then he's like, yeah, afterwards I did kind of feel away. No, stand on that. You agreed to it.
Well,
stand on that. Support her.
But can we knock honesty? Because like, he can say to himself, yeah, no, I was down with it, but maybe I didn't. And there's a moment where I didn't know what I agreed to. Okay. Like an example where you agree to go to somebody's party. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, that won't be bad. And then you go and you're like, this is the worst thing in the world when you first get there.
Yeah.
And then when you leave, it was like, oh, well, that wasn't so bad.
I think that would have been fine to do privately.
Yeah. Okay.
But what these guys on these co-hosts on these podcasts, what they're getting at. What Sneeko and all of those guys are getting at. Mm-hmm. So that would have been the moment for me, for him to be like, no, this is something we talked about. We agreed to. I support her. She did a good job. This is I mean, he did say, I'm proud of her. And,
He said she did a good job, though.
She did a good job. But I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
that's the childish version of me coming out. I'm sorry. Yeah. That was funny. You did a good job. Hey, baby, you did a good job.
Hey,
baby, you did a good job. You did a good job.
But I think any kind of reservations he had after the fact should have been a discussion between the two of them privately. It's
just not to give more.
Similar. Don't put more fuel on the fire. If you're publicly, it should have been, I support her. Yeah. I'm proud of her. She chose someone somebody they both know. Jason Love is somebody they both know, and who is a recognizable figure in the industry. So this is something that would have generated a lot of buzz for her. It has.
Mm-hmm. It was her first, I hate saying girl on boy. That's what it's called.
But heterosexual.
But it's literally the title. If you look it up, it's called Girl on Boy. But first of all, it's a man and a woman.
Yeah.
And whatever. The first heterosexual scene that she's ever, well, no, it's not the first heterosexual scene.
It's not. She's done it with her husband.
Yeah, so it's the first, whatever. It's the first one of them scenes. Whatever they call them.
I just think the double standard is glaring. because none of these men look at her and be like, you just fine having these other women in your relationship.
The men don't. Maybe the women do.
No, because again, this is a decision that the two of them made consensually.
Mm-hmm.
It is not it ain't our damn business. And he's certainly not a simp. First of all, I don't even know what is that even short for?
It's the opposite. It's opposite of a pimp. So if you're a simp, then that means you do everything the woman tell you to do, and you ain't got no backbone.
Oh God.
Yeah, I know. Men be real insecure. That's what it is. And what all craze comes down to. Men be real insecure.
And you know what? Half of these men would give their right ass cheek to have a woman tell them what to do. Period. And you know this. If a woman would even talk to you, you would give all your money to let her tell you what to do because you do it in private.
Right. They say the running joke is in heterosexual relationships, the woman chooses who she wants to have sex with. The man accepts who lets him have sex with her.
Yes.
Very rarely do you get to choose. There's only a few of us out there. It's me. It's Denzel.
Not okay.
It's Leonardo DiCaprio. It's only a few. It's only a few of us. It's only a few of us.
I don't know the amount of ego you have to put yourself in the same category as Denzel D. Washington.
Did you say Denzel D. Washington?
Yes. His middle name is
like Martin Luther the King?
The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther the King, yes.
Oh, yeah, okay. You're right. Basically, the whole theme of today's show has been stay the hell out of other people's business.
Stay the hell out of other people's business. Mind your business. Mind the business that pays you. Does it pay your bills? Does it affect you in any way? No, it doesn't. Couldn't be me. It won't be you. It never was. It never will be.
Right. Couldn't be you. Right. Stop making choices for women's bodies. Yeah. And stop caring whose daddy is whose they're not.
That you were the only one who cared about that.
Nah,
nobody else cared about.
When she started climbing that political ladder and became high profile, that was a huge story, especially in the wrestling community.
Oh,
the wrestling community is huge. I don't know if you know this.
I don't.
Billions. Yeah. There's billions of fans out there. The WWE just sold for like $4.3 billion.
That's crazy.
Right. It's been like, look, it's real out here in the
for
streets.
Some flips and kicks.
No, don't disrespect them like that. Don't. It was just Bret Hart's birthday. It was just Bret the Hitman Hart's birthday. You know when his birthday is?
No, but I do love Bret the Hitman Hart.
July the 2nd.
Oh, you share a birthday with Bret the Hitman Hart?
That's right.
All right. Well, that's nice.
No, Bret the Hitman Hart shares a birthday with me.
I believe he's older than you. He is. Yeah.
He is. But on that note, Jay, what do you want to tell the people out there?
Glad to be back.
Yeah, that's it. Good to be back. This show was disjointed. We got to get our timing back. We take 1 week off. You leave your phone on.
And you know who it is? You know who it is? Your mother. Brother. Your mother.
Oh, no. Okay. It's the other person.
Yeah.
No, we film the same time every Thursday.
Every week. The same time, same day, and it never fails. She will call.
Oh, I didn't know y'all was filming.
It doesn't matter. And the thing is, even though my phone is on silent and over somewhere else, I got my iPad and I'm on my what is the computer called?
The iMac?
No. MacBook.
The Apple book.
MacBook. So the phone, 3 different things. So the phone will FaceTime on all of my devices. So
and she's probably an emergency contact. So even if you did have it on Do Not Disturb, her information busts through.
Yeah,
I've had that.
She just sent me a text. Call me when you get a minute. Hey,
all right,
I don't have it.
No,
I'm on the show. I'm working.
Well, Mom, when you listen back to the show, this is what happened.
Yeah.
But call Mom. We're going to end the show. And on that note, as always, I'll holla.
Thank you for listening to Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Please subscribe, like, comment, share, and donate. Donations help us keep giving you this free content each and every week. Until next time, Audi 5000. Peace.